Hey guys, I spent quite a bit of time in the beta messing around with two instances of the game. My main was the PS4 that I built up a strong sorceress on, and the other was the PC that I got a rogue and necro to level 25 on. This was more for testing purposes and maximizing my time finding farms than anything, and I only expect to get one copy at launch, but I learned a decent amount about the game. To start, I had troubles adding two accounts as friends on the Battle.net side, but I made a clan, joined both accounts, and was easily able to add as friends that way. I controlled both accounts with controllers, often simultaneously, and did a bunch of different farms together and separate, including events, Ashava raids, dungeons, and unique enemy farming. For the events, I wanted to try to find a way to get resplendent chests and O-balls as fast as possible. I ended up TP farming them separately, and when I found a desirable event with one, I invited the other account to join the party and beat the event. It wasn't perfect since events aren't always the same or available, but at its best I was completing certain events every 30 seconds excluding TP times. For Ashava, I knew that some people were able to spawn in multiple instances within a 15-minute period if they beat the main spawn early enough. I joined Ashava raids separately with the Sorceress and Rogue, and once the raids were done, I TP farmed Ashava and eventually found another instance with the Rogue with barely any time left, and that team wasn't strong enough to defeat it. I helped on both Ashava fights by mainly playing the Rogue and triggering Blizzard and Hydras with the Sorceress on the second controller. The Sorceress is one of the best passive classes in my opinion, since the Hydra build basically involves pressing two buttons every 5 to 10 seconds. One thing I'm kicking myself for forgetting to test was joining the Rogue's game instance that found the second Ashava fight. Instead, with the Sorceress, I kept TP farming Ashava with no success before the timer expired. I can't confirm right now that you can join a party mid-Ashava fight, but I'm sure other people know the answer. If you can use multiple accounts to TP farm other Ashava fights and join the one that finds it. If not, you can still TP farm additional fights individually. Again, I'm not condoning doing this in the full game, but I did try to test broad aspects of it in the beta, knowing that the progress doesn't carry over. I tested dungeon crawling using both accounts in a party and cleared the dungeons with the Sorceress. The PC character was stationary at the start of the dungeon. I was hoping to see a marked improvement in XP gain, which I didn't. Supposedly there's a small bonus if you farm with other people, but it only gets up to 40% in a close proximity party of 4, and that's only if the bonus is cumulative. It did appear like the enemies took a bit more effort to kill when playing with other people. Once I was done the dungeon, I ran around with the Smurf looking for loot, but eventually stopped doing that because any legendaries that dropped for the Smurf would be in the cache in town if I didn't pick them up in the dungeon. I also tested farming unique enemies, and that went pretty much the same as event farming. TP farm separately and join the game that found it. Since the world instances change after town portaling, using multiple games to farm enemies cuts down the time that it takes. But at this time I'm not convinced the effort is worth it, especially since you can do this with a bunch of friends over a Discord call, or just do it with one account and not worry about multiple controllers. If you don't have any friends to reliably farm with as heavily as you, and you don't mind buying the game more than once, and have a second platform to play it on, this could potentially be helpful in late game farms. We'll know more when the full game comes out, but there could be a Rainbow Goblin situation that could potentially benefit from multiple games TP farming. Another variable to test with the full game is without crossplay enabled. That could cut down the amount of other game instances that have some target already farmed, meaning that TP farming could be successful more often. Generally, farming with multiple accounts wasn't very beneficial. I found events and unique enemies quicker, but it was a lot of effort. With Ashava, you can't trade legendaries, so it isn't like you can use 3 Smurfs and a main to quadruple the drops and converge all the drops on a single account. The main benefits I can see of farming like this right now are farms that don't require you to continually use other controllers, like boosting dungeons, assuming there's increased reward with multiple people, and building up spare accounts. Another thing I noticed was that PC TP times were almost always substantially faster than the PS4. My PC is decent and has M.2 storage, and my PS4 is a Pro with SSD storage. The internet is controlled for, obviously, and PC TP times were almost always nearly half the time as the PS4. It's possible that the PS5 and the Xbone X have superior TP times to the PS4 Pro, but I used what I had on hand to do the testing. At launch I'll get Diablo on PC. I might have preferred using a console since I don't like burdening my PC with games, but the graphics and performance absolutely demolishes the PS4, and 25-ish seconds is a long time to kick myself for getting the game on PS4 instead of PC. PC also allows ultra-wide, and the controller integration works very well. I didn't bother working out a Bluetooth connection for my Switch Pro controller on PC. I just loaded up D4 through Steam, and the controller worked great via USB. I'll end this video with a few choice clips of 2 times speed TP farms with the loading screens cut out for brevity. They may be beneficial in the full game, but I'm waiting to see before confirming if I'll spend much time on them. Thanks for watching. Hit all the buttons and let me know if you like or dislike the video. Peace.